Hi, we've been talking about how to overcome your fear of riding horses. And a lot of what I've talked about is how to decrease the intensity of the body sensations that you feel that you associate with anxiety. There's a number of things you can do. And today I'd like to talk about something called submodalities. Sensory modality is your five senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. And so we're going to take each one of those and we'll start with visual things you can see. Okay, you're talking about the brightness or the dullness. You're talking about contrast, how close or far away from you. Is it in color or is it in black and white? Is it a moving picture like a movie or is it a still photo? Now, these submodalities create a big impact on how you experience what's going on. Take, for instance, something that you're afraid of. If you bring it up closer and closer, it gets bigger and bigger, you're probably going to feel more afraid. If you push it off and it goes further and further and it gets smaller and smaller as it goes away, it's probably going to decrease the impact that it has on you in terms of the sensations you're feeling, whether it's your heart racing or butterflies in your stomach. At the same time, if you say something's in black and white, that's probably going to have less impact than something is in color. And if it's in color and it's bright and brilliant colors, that's even going to be more impactful in terms of the response you're going to get. Now, if you talk about auditory, you can talk about tonality, you can talk about pitch, you can talk about the rate of speed that you're saying something, you can talk about softness or loudness. All these things are going to impact how you experience the body sensation that's associated with it. If you have a tonality, I can tell you if my wife is angry at me just by her tonality. I don't even have to hear what the content of it, what she's saying. I can tell by the tonality if I'm in trouble or not. That's pretty easy for me to pick up on. I've done enough things that got in trouble. So it's pretty easy for me to pick up on at this point. At the same time, if someone's talking real soft to you or they're talking real loud, again, that has a different impact. So submodalities are something that we can play with in terms of building up an experience or tamping down an experience. Now, if you want to build up the experience, suppose you're setting an anchor for confidence and you want to build up the memory that made you feel confident. Well, if you bring it in closer, if you make it bright colors, if it's moving or still, all these things are going to make a difference. You can make some generalizations of how most people are going to feel if you bring something closer, if you make something louder. Most people are going to feel more intensity in the body sensation that's associated with that tonality or that visual experience. This is something that's worth playing with. Whether you're setting an anchor and you want to intensify the feelings, use the submodalities that make it more impactful. Or if it's something that's making you nervous and anxious, if you're hearing a voice inside your head saying, uh-oh, I'm in over my head, that's not a good thing to be saying to yourself. So better to upgrade the content of what you're saying. But at the same time, if it's said in a soft, caring, kind voice, or it's said in a mean, rough, loud voice, it's going to impact how you experience it. So if you want to tone down the impact of what it is you're seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, or touching, play with the submodalities. And in terms of touch, is it a rough surface? Is it a smooth surface? Is it soft? Is it hard? Is it cold? Is it hot? All these are different things that you can feel with the touch. If you're touching something that's warm, it might impact you different than if you're touching something that's cold. So play with the submodalities and use them accordingly. If you're trying to tamp down the sensation, use the submodalities, which tend to decrease the sensation. If you're trying to intensify it, in the case of setting an anchor, use submodalities that will intensify the experience. It's pretty fascinating, the difference that it makes. Follow me for more. Tom Mulryan. Check out my website, equestrianhypnocoach.com.